2022, a 10,000-mile, 60-day tour spanning 26 states, 14 off-road destinations from May 29th to July 28th, 2022. This is the first episode of the video series where we introduce ourselves and the origins of this big adventure, give an overview of the route we'll be making, and per request from our show listeners, walk through our Jeep builds and our tow rig. Hey everybody, this is Gary and
Gary.
We are the Northwest Jeepcast, and this is about a big journey we're about to depart on. 60 days, 9,000 miles for me, 7,800 for you.
A little less for me. What does that mean? You're just gonna drop me off somewhere and leave me behind?
That's right. That's right. So this is an epic journey that we've been planning for actually a while.
Years?
Years,
yeah.
I guess. A bit of a dream, and we decided to make our dream come true, Gary.
We did. It's about time.
We did.
We deserve a dream.
We deserve a dream. And we got the podcast, Northwest Jeepcast. It's been 6 years, a little over 6 years doing that. Got a lot of episodes out. 380 some. 380 some shows. And we've got listeners everywhere, worldwide actually. We have a considerable number of listeners.
Some of them are outside the planet.
Yeah. But on the space station, Gary?
Yeah, they're listeners out there, Gary. Come on, don't forget them.
Anyway, so we had this dream, Wheeling America, and the dream really started a long time ago. I think I remember reading in JP magazine back when they used to have magazines, Gary.
What? What's a magazine?
Yeah.
Old timer.
Yeah, old timer. About the Bantam Jeep Heritage Festival, and I was like, man, that sounds really cool. I want to go to that someday. But it's in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, and Butler, Pennsylvania, and I live in Seattle, Washington area.
About as far as you can be.
So it's a little over 2,000-mile drive, and I'm like, someday I'm going to do that. Maybe when I retire, I will do that.
Mm.
And so I was talking to you about that. So.
Well, you've brought up Bantam so many times over the years. Bantam has been a wish list, thing for a decade.
It has been, and oddly enough, within the first year of our recording, Gary, Mike Gudis from Bantam, one of the guys that runs Bantam, he reached out to us. He's a listener, and he likes the podcast, and he sent us Bantam stuff.
That was awesome.
T-shirts and a flag and all this, and invited us to come to Bantam. I'm like, I got to get to Bantam. But I said, Mike, Bantam's a long ways, man, from here. So I started thinking about this, and I told Gary, and then I was like, hey, if I'm going to go all the way, because in those days I didn't think you were going to come. So I'm like, when I get retired, I'm going to go to Bantam. And if I'm going to go to Bantam, I'm going to go wheeling some. I mean, I'm not going to drive clear out to Pennsylvania, take my Jeep.
It's a long way to drive.
And not get some action out of this, right? So I'm like, well, okay, what are the parks? Oh, AOAA and Roush Creek. These are well-known parks in Pennsylvania. So it's like, hey, I'm going to run those, right? And then I said, well, I always wanted to try Uwharrie, too. I've heard Uwharrie was great. Well, that's not too far from Pennsylvania. I can do that. And then I think you started getting interested.
Yeah, I did. Well, you talked up a good game. You're like, hey, there's all this stuff going on. I'm like, well, I want to go.
Yeah.
I invited myself to
your bucket list. And you got retired even ahead of me. Right? And so, and then the idea got really rolling back in 2018. We did a big Colorado trip, and we had mentioned it on the podcast, and listeners were wanting to go and run trails with us and
so awesome.
Take us out, and we go to the brew pubs and stuff. And we're like, well, this is pretty interesting. I really don't know very many people in Colorado. How would I know these people, right? And so we did that trip, and it was a blast. Everywhere we went, the listeners came. We ran trails with them. We had a fantastic time, right? We're going to run trails with some of them again this year, in fact. And so then it was like, wow, Wheeling America, not just Colorado. Don't worry, Colorado, we're coming back this year.
Settle down, Colorado. Don't get too excited. We are coming back.
We're coming back to Colorado. So, then the whole thing became Wheeling America. It was like, oh my gosh, well, hey, Windrock's supposed to be a fantastic off-road area in Tennessee, Gary, and it's kind of like on the return, when you're heading back from Uwharrie.
Kind of like on the return.
Well, it's heading west. Tennessee's right next to North Carolina. It's like, well, heck, we can go get Windrock, right? And then all of a sudden, people in Michigan, a lot of Michiganders started reaching out to us. And we're like, well, we got to go to Michigan. How can we not go to Michigan? Well, okay, so we'll turn north. We'll go to Michigan, right? And then Silver Lake Sand Dunes, right? And so we're going there. Then we heard about Drummond Island. And Drummond Island area is supposed to be just gorgeous.
And the bridge?
And the Mighty Mac.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going over the you call it the Mackinac Bridge, I think.
No, what's the...
Mackinac Island?
Mackinac. Right?
Mackinac, it's the Mackinac.
Mackinac Island, but the way we pronounce it is Mackinac.
Mackinac, yeah. So we're going to go over
the
Mighty Mac.
The McCanhack.
The McCanhack Bridge. You know, all the Michiganders are probably laughing. I've been over the Mighty Mac once. It's a spectacular bridge. So yeah, we get to go over the Mighty Mac over right between Lake Michigan and Lake Huron, and over to the UP of Michigan, and off over to Drummond Island. And then we've got, so our listeners know people, and so they got a cabin for us there too. And it's like,
can't believe it.
Right on the harbor, and they're going up to run with us. And we're like, this is so much fun. And then on, we're gonna, return back to northern Wisconsin, right at the UP-Wisconsin border. My wife's family has got a lot of properties up there. They got their annual 4th of July shindig. My niece is Chamber of Commerce, head of Chamber of Commerce up there.
We get to get in some parades?
Yeah, we get to go on 4th of July. Not one, but two.
2 parades on 4th of July.
They're hilarious.
Wow.
They're small parades, like go through Land Lakes, and then the conga line goes over to Phelps, which is like, 6 miles. And then you run Phelps. So we get to be in 2 parades.
That's cool.
And then we're going to go to Minnesota, because we got a lot of listeners up in Minnesota, and we're going to run the Iron Range out of Gilbert. And then we had heard about Southern Missouri Off-Road Ranch and some folks we know down that way. And like, hey, let's go do that too. What the heck? Why not? That's not the most direct route home, but straight south. And then from there, it is west, Gary.
And we got to come west.
We're coming to Colorado. We're doing a week's worth of wheeling in Colorado. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And then we're going to go to St. George, Utah and run
Sand Hollow.
Oh, and so Gary.
Exciting. You haven't been before.
I've not been.
I've been a few times.
At one time, we were going to return here. Actually, we originally were going to go do the Morrison Jeep Trail and come back.
That's right.
Probably up through Idaho and run Silver
Springs?
Silver something. Anyway, but obviously you decided you were going to move to St. George.
I did.
And your wife's already down there, and you're building a house, and so I said, well, 7,800 miles is the long way to St. George.
Yeah, look, I'm only along for this ride because I need you to take my Jeep to St. George for me. I didn't know that you were going to take the 7,800 mile route there.
Yeah, 56 days to reach there.
Right, spanning 26 states. You're going to take the 26 state route just to get me to St. George. It's a little over the top. But what unexpected things came up with this? Well, sorry, before we go to that, in summary, 60 days of away from home.
Yep.
30 days of wheeling.
30 days of wheeling.
It's like half of the amount of time we're going to be out on trails.
We're going to be on dirt. We're running a lot of rocks. Oh, we're stopping in South Dakota on our way. We're running the Black Hills, running the 605 Jeep Club, running some fantastic stuff there. It's going to be great. So yeah, we're running the South Dakota, Black Hills, and then we're running AOA. Well, we're doing Bantam itself. Oh yeah, we mentioned that. Yes, we're going to Bantam.
Yeah.
And we're signed up for everything, pretty much. Get to be in the Jeep invasion into Butler, and we'll see where Jeep started. At the Bantam. What's left of Bantam. And and then AOA.
And a wicked surprise.
Oh, we have a surprise that'll be coming up. We'll like the surprise. But anyway, yeah, this is the beginning. We finally got everything, just about loaded, right, Gary?
I think it's just about loaded. It's much further along than I thought it was going to be. I still got last minute packing to do.
Last minute, I got to get home, and my wife is joining for parts of it, and so she's not done packing yet. I need to go help her. So we finished a little bit late. It was raining here in Washington. So what's cool about that, So we're out there in the rain, strapping them down. We are, we've got a 2014 Ram 3500, heavy duty.
You got, don't say we, it's yours.
Well, then we together have a Texas Pride 40-foot toy, double Jeep hauler, car hauler, gooseneck, and it's loaded with both Jeeps. Probably going to be pulling about 20,000 pounds across. We've done it before. We've hauled double. We've done King of the Hammers. You raced this year at King of the Hammers.
So it's our third trip on the long haul.
On the long hauler, our third trip, and we don't seem to be getting better at packing either. Like, we thought we were going to do better, and I have a feeling we're going to be welding some new
some tabs
and things on it to mount things a little better. We got a portable welder with us. It'll all work out.
But speaking of last minute things, so we got to add tabs. That's kind of last minute. But one of the last things that you did planning for was finding laundromats.
Yes.
We realized, hey, we can't just go 60 days of all fresh clothes.
No.
We need some place to wash clothes.
We have to wash clothes.
And you figure that out.
So I've got laundromats planned in. I also have some sink washing. Last September, my wife and I did a trip to Europe with our older daughter and son-in-law. So we got really good at washing some underwear and things like that. You know, we couldn't always make it to the laundromat, so you sometimes had to do fix-ups. So I got all that with us, so we can kind of, in between, clean up a little bit. But yeah, we have to get laundromats factored in.
Liquor stores.
Yeah, we got enough liquor to make Chicago. With us.
You have more liquor than Chicago.
And then we're going to have to, tune up. Anyway, I think, it's going to be fun. Put this together.
Earlier in the day, prior to loading everything up, we walked through our tow rig and the Jeeps. This is some of the prelude. We're getting ready for Wheelin' America 2022. It's May 28, 2022, Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday. We depart early in the morning for Bozeman, Montana, and then on to Deadwood, South Dakota. So I'm going to go over the rigs we're running here. This is our 2014 Dodge Ram 3500 Mega Cab. Pretty tricked out, pretty comfortable. Running 35-inch Nitto ridge grapplers. They're good for 4,000 pounds. Got Method 4,500 pound wheels, so we're in good shape on that front. We're not a dually, we're just single. So we can run good 4,000 pounds on the pin here. You can see the gooseneck coming in, our Texas Pride trailer called the Long Hauler. Underneath, we've got our stable loads in right here from Torque Lift. We're going to run heavy, so they're engaging our overload springs a little earlier. And we got airbags as well, so we'll be running, I don't know, maybe 80 pounds in them. I'm not sure yet. We'll level her out. This is what we refer to as Long Hauler. It's a Texas Pride 40-foot. You can tell gooseneck trailer. It's a double car hauler. It's got drive over wheels. We ordered with extra width, so you can see we're 102-inch deck. Well, center's open, but that's because our tires tend to be a little bit wider. We've got two 9,000-pound axles on it. Each of these tires and wheel sets, they are 6,000 pounds each. So we've got 18,000 pounds of springs and axles in the back, 24,000 pounds of tires. We will be running right around 20,000 pounds with the double Jeeps and all the gear on board for roughly about 30,000 pounds gross at our heaviest points combined. So got aluminum ramps because we got old and got sick and tired of moving heavy stuff. Had a lot of fun getting this ready today. We had to retorque our lug nuts. We had to get our air pressure back up to 128 psi for the tires. Lubed our axles, fixed an electrical problem. We're getting there. There's the rear end of it.
Here's Gary H's rig. Big JKU, super heavy. Running it's got a double triangulated rear suspension, so no track bar. Up front is your standard 4-link with a track bar. Running double throwdowns on TR bead locks. Anti-rock sway bar, Evo bumper, Warn winch, and a whole bunch of Vision X goodies. Got the shocker bar, big cannon, mini cannon, and headlights. PSC Ram, RCV axles, Dynatrac 60 up front. Griffin radiator inside, 6.2 LS3. Custom made sliders. These things have taken a beating. They're body mounted. Cut out the pinch seam, welded it straight to the body. It's about as high as you can get. Can't get any higher than this on a slider. Custom made skid plate, thick aluminum. Dynatrac 80 in the rear. King IPB shocks with air bump. Massive Genrite gas tank. This whole rear suspension has been dialed in by Genrite. Dynatrac 80 in the rear. Custom made rear bumper. Shout out to Milestar, providing me some awesome tires for the race at King of Hammers. Optima battery inside, master pull winch line up front, got PRP seats inside, custom made passenger grip. Everything's in here for the race. Got the rugged radio, race, emergency stop, of course lockers front and rear. Bunch of switches all over the place. Got a blower motor for the helmets. Fire extinguishers all over the place. PRP gear bags to hold a bunch of stuff, including the impact gun, master pull rope, MacGyver lines. Vision X lights for the rear, fuel safe fill, a bunch of fuel stuff, all custom fuel, dual pumps. It's the Phantom dual pump. Dynatrac came through big for the race. Awesome axles. The thing just held up to all kinds of abuse. Genrite came in huge. I had bent control arms, and they came in and helped me out with 4 new lower control arms.
All right. This is Gary T's 2010 JKUR. It's been modified over the years. It's running VKS, or I think they call it a stage 3, I can't remember. Aluminum front bumper with the hoop. Running Vision X 20-inch shocker. So we've got white spot and amber elliptical. Got some Vision X 3.7-inch light cannons in the special amber color. Right now I'm running some Euro filters on there, so they're legal on the street. Behind all that is a Warren winch. It's a 9.5 Ti. It's circa 2011. She still runs great. Running Master Pull Superline XD, 80-foot line. Let's see, running Cooper 40-inch STT Pros on trail ready beadlocks. They're really good stuff. Got a Pro Rock 60 front end in it. Got a PSC Ram system coming off the steering box. Synergy drag link. Wide open designs aluminum tie rod. RCV axle shafts with ARB lockers in there. We've got the anti-rock, rock jock anti-rock system for the front. King 14-inch coilovers in the front with King nitrogen bump stops. Off-Road Evolution long arms suspension system. Off-Road Evolution rockers. Rugged Ridge thermoplastic doors, circa 2011. Door notches are the problem with these. I got a couple to replace on the trip. Circa 2011 uppers. Really was hoping to get some new ones, but ran out of money. Kind of funny how that happens with Jeeps. Oh, car 4562. That's Gary H's, his rig. This is his car number for 4500 class. Ultra 4, competed at Hammers. It's got a brand new Bestop NX Trek soft top. My other one was just basically falling apart entirely, so got a new one just in time for the trip. Rear is a full float Dynatrac Pro Rock 60. Running an Evo lever coilover system. Those are on 8-inch King coilovers with 14-inch limiter straps. Got some Vision X M4M Dura Minis for the rear. Oh yeah, I got Poison Spider fenders. Poison Spider corner armor, DIY aluminum bumper. Could look a lot better with the special mounting tabs that we made. Take soft shackles, no problem. Let's see. Inside, a bit beat up, but it's got an OR fab, sport cage from 2011. It's been augmented with rock hard capabilities for the you see the rock hard bar back there. It's holding the harness straps that we use for off-road. This one's set up double so that it runs can run your regular seatbelt straps, and I've got the blanks that plug in so the computer doesn't go nuts when you don't have not strapped up and you're using your harness. PRP Summit seats. These are not the race seats, but these are excellent suspension seats. Let's see. Got S-Pod system up here to control lots of electrical. But I got too many electricals, so I've got switches down here, including an extra one for the shocker. There's my heated seat switches. Got locking, I forget who makes these things nowadays. Center console and glove box. And I've got a B-Tech dual band radio in it. So we can run all the GMRS channels, all the FRS channels. We can run all the race channels, and I'm ham, I've got a ham license, so I can run ham bands as well. Yeah, and we got the high lift on there. Some people are like, oh, you don't need a high lift. I've used mine many times. I've gotten out some really sticky situations. So I'm bringing her with us on Wheelin' America, and hopefully no one needs anything. So that is, in summary, that's kind of Gary T's rig. She's sitting at about 6.5 inches of lift at the moment. That's King kind of helped me. We rebuilt the King shocks coilovers down at Hammers, revalved them and everything, and they helped me out a lot during the Hammers time. So anyway, this is where Rebate thought I should be running. So stepping back, there she is. She's ready to go out and take a licking. Spent a lot of hours getting her ready for this adventure. Alrighty, well, there you go.
Well, it's time for this adventure to actually begin. Stay tuned for the multi-part video series Across America, including a special on the factories of the iconic Jeeps, with an exclusive full media tour of the modern GL Wrangler factory in Toledo, Ohio. See you on the road and trails.